Hello and welcome to episode 12 of Deadball Specialists, entitled Kane, Go Away, Find a Club Another Day. we- we've got one of our resident visitors back, Nana, so let's clap him in. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining the show, Nana. It's a pleasure
God
to
of
have
Honor,
you
thank you
here.
very much. Man City player.
It's great to have you back on. So we're going to look at this week's Premier League games, and we're also going to give you some predictions for the final day of the season, which is next week, unfortunately. So that'll be the end of our podcast for this season anyway. We're going to start off with the Chelsea-Leicester game. It was 2-1 to Chelsea. So Ahmed, your prediction was Leicester are going to bottle it and slip out, seeming to come true right now. But fresh off the FA Cup victory, a rematch for obviously the top four, it was a really big game. And I think the fans, being 8,000 fans in the stadium, was nice to see as well. I think that did really help things. I thought the first few minutes were actually quite open from both sides. But then Chelsea just took over. I think within about 10 minutes in, 10, 15 minutes in, they just started to dominate the play. I think Chelsea deserved a goal for a while. I mean, they got a disallowed one, didn't they? Well, they had a couple of disallowed ones.
Werner scored,
Yeah, so he had two disallowed ones, because there were two disallowed goals in that game. Yeah, they're both his. I mean, Money Mace again doing bits, leading the charge for Chelsea throughout. And the Rudiger goal was 100% coming. I mean, for me, the biggest thing was Leicester could have walked away with a draw in that game.
It could have.
Because Ayoze Perez's chance at the end was massive.
Yeah. He should have finished it. He should have finished it. He should have finished it. But then he did assist the goal for the FA Cup final. So
those assists are very basic assists, aren't they?
He still had to chase the ball down.
No, he didn't. It bounced off its arm.
Still assist, Armin. Play football on the South East London. That's an assist.
That's the same assist as like William got 5 assists in a row for us. Yeah, that kind of assist.
Oh, good.
So tell me, we'll start with you with our guest, man. How did you see the game?
I feel sorry for Leicester. Like I really want Leicester. I like Leicester. I mean, it just seems like a well-run club. And also, like I think I heard some stat like out of 75 weeks, they've been in the top 4 for 70 over 2 seasons, but they've dropped out both times. And like stuff like that, you're like I want them to be in the Champions League. I want them to get there, but I think they expelled so much energy in the FA Cup final. They just looked tired. Like Chelsea just came on top and then just pummeled them. But then with Chelsea again, it's the same thing. They haven't got a striker. Like Chelsea, it's almost drew because they haven't got anyone to put goals away. Like Werner, I like Werner. I think he'll come good.
Werner, does he not remind you of Torres? £50 million. It's not happening.
No, that's unfair. Because Torres was like he was going to be a flop from the get-go at Chelsea.
No, but Torres was a world beater at Liverpool.
Werner's contributed more than Torres has at Chelsea.
Torres scored in the semi-final of the Champions League in the year they won it.
Yeah. But
against Barcelona.
They also have a Champions League final coming up. What if Werner scores the winner against City?
Yeah.
Werner scored against go sorry.
No, he scored in the semi-final too.
Yeah. Like I think Chelsea would do it, but I really wanted Leicester to be in Champions League. I just want to see Leicester's name and that Champions League sound run out. Like I just like the team. So it's a shame. You know what I mean? It's a shame that it's going to be back to normality. It's going to be Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, and like of all seasons, this year could have been the fairy tale season. You know what I mean? Like a team like Leicester or West Ham imagine West Ham into the Champions League. Oh my God!
That would be mad. You'd see like discarded Burberry scarves on the streets of Madrid and Rome and Milan and like I don't know, like flat caps and whatnot.
Like Benzema coming to Stratford. Bloody hell.
Oh my God. There's a wonderful shisha cafe just down the past road near Stratford. So I could easily see Benzema in there with a double apple.
So it's sad, but yeah, I think Chelsea deserved it. And
they did.
And we can't complain. It's just like you want a fairy tale. Like, it's a pandemic. it's been a shit year. You thought, West Ham or Leicester. Well, Arsenal ain't going there, so I've given up. Like Arsenal.
I mean, the shirt you're wearing, mate. That's who.
Oh yeah, no, this I found the wardrobe. I have no idea what it is.
But yeah.
Ahmed.
So
yeah, I was just like, like I was saying on last week's pod. I was in Leicester last week when Tielemans hit that thunderbolt of a strike and City went crazy. Okay, and the residents of the city were worse for wear. I hate to think what state the players are in. So Nana mentioned tired legs. Yes, tired legs. But I still think, maybe they had one too many. So they were a bit under the weather, let's just say.
But even though, like, I don't necessarily think it's just tired. It's that all that pent up emotion, and then you let it out. Like, it
hard
takes
to get
its toll. It's hard to get up from that. Yeah. So,
do you think he made a mistake by not paying Iheanacho from the start in that game?
No, because Iheanacho started in the cup final and he put in a real shift. I know he got subbed off, before the end, but still, you've got to rotate. You've got to refresh your squad. I just think.
But the thing is, with the 2 games left, you can't talk about rotation anymore. There's only 2 games left.
Well, you have to rotate. The reason, the part of the reason for Leicester's success is their squad. They're one of the few teams that have a really good squad. Their second string is very, very good for the most part.
But if you remember, Iheanacho did not play at the beginning of the year at all, really. So he should be more than enough in his tank to play that and to start that game.
True, go ahead.
With that, I think because, and this is my view, like anytime I see Leicester play, because I think Vardy's getting older, so he's doing less tracking, he's doing that less chasing the defender down. So I think Iheanacho is picking up that slack. And so, like, a lot of time you see he's the one chasing the ball down to strike, and Vardy's sitting a bit deeper. So, like, when you play football, if you're just running around chasing the ball, it's tiring. It's tiring. So, like, FA Cup final, I think there's one time where I think one Chelsea fan had the ball, and then like Vardy looked at Iheanacho, and Iheanacho just sprinted towards it, and it's like I think he's been told to do the job which Vardy used to do. So I think maybe he's just got tired, and then he couldn't stop.
I think we mentioned this before on last week's pod. None of us are pro athletes, but if you've ever played like a full game on a Saturday and then on a Sunday, by Sunday night you're done, you're finished. Like, the idea of playing another game like a day or two later is terrifying. And these are pro athletes, who run like kilometers per game. So I really do think it takes it out of you. I think Brendan Rodgers did the right thing. My prediction is coming. I never in a million years thought they would have won at Stamford Bridge, regardless of the result in the FA Cup final. I thought they put so much into that. It's a shame. Chelsea did look good, but I think Leicester are destined to kind of fall out the top four.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
It is a shame.
It is a shame. I agree. And the way the table sits right now is 66 points for Liverpool, 66 points for Leicester, and 67 points. We do have a better goal difference, and 67 points for Chelsea. So the way it's going to work out now, really, if Chelsea lose their next game, Leicester and Liverpool both win, Chelsea will drop out of that. So, well, let's kind of now move on to the Liverpool game, I guess. It's a good segue for that. So what I will say on that game, it felt like the Leeds-Burnley game, because Burnley were really, really good in this game. Like, really, really good. And I feared the whole game. I didn't think we won it convincingly. We scored goals all at the right time. So towards the end of the first half, till really early in the second half. And then Burnley then kind of took over again. And luckily, the Ox come on and scored a lovely goal. Nat Phillips, who I've been talking about for time, even on this pod, and I've said to you, he should be starting, like, get Fabinho back in midfield because it just doesn't work. This guy, for me, very old school centre-back, heads it away really, really well. Put in a good tackle, plays it simple, no fuss, no muss. I'm not going to play 40-yard passes. I'll smash you up in the air, win the ball, and play 5 yards. Fine, I take it. But, for me, he should have been played as soon as, the 2 lads got injured, Gomez and Van Dijk, and this kind of mixed pairing for a very long time. Just, I don't know. It just seemed like Klopp got it wrong this year, I think, at the back. I think Fabinho is an incredible player and can definitely play that role. Not doubting that at all, but I think when you don't have Henderson in the midfield and you take Fabinho out of that too, I think it's too much of a loss. Yeah, I think if Hendo was still there, it would have been okay, but with him not there, it's too good.
See, like, I Fabinho, I know, is a brilliant player, but like I think again, something I heard it on the Daily Mail. What was the Daily Mail? They were saying that since Fabinho's been back, Liverpool have got 23 points out of 27, and like, since he's been back into centre midfield, and it's just like I thought he was good, but I thought he wasn't like a Fernandinho in my head anyway. But completely wrong. He runs that team and he allows, again, back to one of my favorite players, allows Thiago to be more expressive because Thiago doesn't have to do the chasing back, which he doesn't like doing. Do you know what I mean? So he's an amazing player. Absolutely amazing player. But I think you're right. Though. Like Phillips is a brilliant defender, but I don't think you can blame Klopp. Like I think he's going through a hot streak.
He's had an extraordinary set of circumstances. Nobody can legislate for.
No, I agree. I agree they can't. But I think for such a good manager, he waited so long to put two centre backs in their position because he thought they're so inexperienced. I get that. I get that. But equally, as Klopp is known for playing untried players, he was the one that brought Trent through. He was the one that said, right, we want to buy that. He didn't go out and buy one. He saw Trent in the academy, picked up Robbo for £8 million, virtually an unknown at that time too. So I think he has a history of doing that. So for me, it was just quite an unusual move to not even test it out in any of those games. He just said, play Fabinho there. And now he's starting to stick with the two, and we've won 4 games from the Mounts. So, I mean... Yeah, go on, please. Go after you. How did you find it? Oh my God, jump in.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to be that emphatic. I thought Burnley did start off quite well. Liverpool came into it. I always knew they were going to win because they had to. You know, after Alisson's wonderful header, there's no way they can go to Burnley and then fuck it up again. And now it's in your hands. You know, it's all you have to do. I think if you win who's your last game against, by the way?
Our last game is against Palace.
Oh, you've done that.
At home though, at home with fans back. At home with fans.
No, but Palace have given up. Palace
are a bogey team though.
Excuse me. They said Palace gave up in 2014, and then what happened? Dwight Gale and Luis Suarez crying his eyes out like a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
But Palace are safe. The manager said, "I'm done."
Those are the most dangerous teams.
Palace got battered by Arsenal.
Yeah.
Listen, those are the most dangerous teams. Listen, we're an Arsenal fan. How many times have we been chasing top 4 and we've gone to a club that's like comfortably mid-table? You think, yeah, their players are on the beach with a cigar on. You go there and they play like Brazil 70. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
But the problem is that they're against Arsenal. It's the difference. And I'm an Arsenal fan, but like, if Arsenal go to a team with nothing to win, a team with nothing to lose, they will beat us.
Oh, I've come to quickly realise that reality. The Ox scored his annual goal once again.
I think you're
injured for another 6 months.
The Ox leaving Arsenal's hurt you the most out of any players leaving Arsenal.
Van Persie,
your behaviour towards him is horrific.
Van Persie leaving hurt me. Fabregas leaving hurt me. Vieira, Henry, Pires even the most. Cazorla, Oxlade champion. What the hell?
How much you paid for him? Was it 40 million?
No,
something like
30.
It was 40.
No, 30.
So who was 40? Oh, Iwobi was 40 million.
Iwobi was.
So was the Ox. He was about 40 million. And let me ask you, what's he done for you?
Well, when he has been playing, he's been scoring goals and setting up assists. He scored a goal against Man City. He tore that team apart.
I remember that Champions League goal against City. Yes.
Yeah. So when he was playing and he got running games, he hit some really good form for us. I think the first 2 years were really good, and then he started picking up injuries again, which was always going to happen.
This is the first case I've ever seen where Arsenal have actually bumped a club and not the other way around.
I wouldn't say you bumped up. I would.
We've literally sold you.
That's not fair because Oxlade can play in any position in midfield, and if he's fit, he's quite capable. I think the biggest bump we've given someone was Iwobi. Iwobi to
I agree.
40 million.
Yeah, that's the biggest bump.
Because he's
we've robbed Liverpool twice, basically. Is what you're trying.
How twice?
The City of Liverpool.
Oh, no. I think Chamberlain. I think 35 would have been okay. 40 just makes it sound a bit big, but he can play across the midfield anywhere, defensive or attacking, left or right, which is hard to get.
Liverpool fans, though, if you gave them a choice, would not have signed him.
I would sign him every day. I'd still sign him now. Yeah, all day, every day.
He's played like 3 games for your club.
No, he not. This is what I mean. I think you're undervaluing his contribution. is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think he's had a better time at us than you
A
think.
goal against Man City is worth 40 million, but hey, it's okay.
No, but that's not all he's done this
Armin, what's he done to you?
He's not
I
done
know.
anything.
This is what I mean. You're so bitter about it.
I'm not
It hurts
bitter.
you the most, yeah. It's not-
Armin's a secret Little Mix fan, and he's pissed that that Oxley has got her pregnant. Like, Armin is fuming. Armin is fuming. That was your baby mother, and that's gone. Oh god.
Okay. I mean, Nana, how are your thoughts? I mean, did you think Liverpool were deserving of the win?
Again, I didn't want Liverpool to win, and not anything against Liverpool. I just wanted Leicester or West Ham to try and do something. But and also, again, as we spoke about, like the Addison thing really pissed me off. Like I'm so happy for him. Like you see the emotion in his interview, but just the last kick of the game, your keeper come on, it's a pandemic. But yeah, so they did deserve it, and I mean, I think Liverpool, they played better. They have a goal in mind. They know what they have to do, and they did it. To be fair, and they were like passing the ball quickly again. The ball seemed moving from back to front real quickly. Like, it seemed like the old Liverpool again. That the swagger's back. So,
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was. It deserved, even though I didn't want it to happen.
Okay. The Brighton City game. Nana, why don't you start us off on that one? I mean, 3-2 to Brighton.
Yeah, but City done 10 men though.
But I think
God.
I'm going to say this. I know City were down to 10, right? But that or not, City were 2-0 up. Now, a 2-0 up with 10-man City is still a beast.
Yeah.
Okay,
We can beat a 4-man City. So
again?
I said we can beat a 4-man City side. You know, if they have like all the players down to 4 men, we still can beat them. So yeah.
No, but like it's still like I think like you're 10 men, you won the league, you've got Champions League final coming up. Like you don't really want to exert yourself. Yeah. And Brian just thought we're against the champions, so let's go for it. And
mentally they're in mobs right now.
Yeah, mentally it would have been like, let's just try and keep this up, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, and football is about small games. So as long as you lose that momentum of like Champions League coming, like let me not pull a muscle, let me not do a sprint. And I think Leicester, and that combined with 10 men, it's tiring. So like I get you right, and also like City played the whole game without no strikers. Like literally, they just went to their attackers and the wingers just swapping positions. Yeah. I think that works with 11, but when you're down one, it gets hard. So, but they shouldn't have lost. But I kind of get it. It's like I've got a Champions League final coming. If I'm Phil Foden, I'm not sprinting after Trossard. Nah, okay. You go.
I mean,
I'll guide to the Euros. It's fine.
He had another great game. Like, this kid is an unbelievable talent. I do genuinely think at the youngsters he's the best one right now. I'm not talking about Mbappe and Haaland, just the British
English ones, yes.
Just English ones. But I think if you talk about internationally, I would put him third behind those two.
Actually, I don't know.
I personally would.
I'd rather go for Grealish to Foden.
Oh, Armin, pardon?
Yeah, I think Grealish.
You're the Piers Morgan of this pod. That's what you are.
I think that's the first Deadball opinion of this pod, mate. That's what that is. That's all that is, mate. That's another Deadball.
You're the Piers Morgan of this pod. Are you?
I call it better Grealish. Not a Deadball opinion. I'm listening. Foden is a wonderful talent. Don't get me wrong, and I love him. I think he's a wonderful player. I just think Grealish gives you slightly more. You know, as an all-round. You know, his influence, his leadership.
Foden's got more of that, I'd say.
To me, internationally, Foden's number 2.
Behind
after Haaland. Because Mbappe isn't in that.
Then Mbappe.
Mbappe isn't in that conversation anymore. Like he's a youngster, but he's not a youngster, is he?
No, I didn't know.
Like,
I didn't know this was a Brexit podcast. Sorry,
No, but like Mbappe,
direct me to the nearest football podcast. That'd be great. Thank you.
No, but like Mbappe's not a youngster anymore. Like, he is, but he's
Yeah,
not.
he's like 19, 20.
He's won the World Cup, Ahmed. Come on, he's not a youngster. Like just because he started from so young, he's not in that category anymore. To me, it's Haaland.
So what you're saying is because Mbappe was so good, he transcends his age, and therefore he can't be in the conversation.
Yeah, I do because that's not fair. Like, he's been playing for what, 5 years now. He's won a World Cup. Come on. Like,
but Haaland's been playing. But Haaland's been playing for a few years. It's just the first few years nobody heard about him because he wasn't doing anything.
No, but Haaland's played in Salzburg till two years ago.
That's true.
And so it's a big difference. Like, Mbappe was playing for Monaco and then PSG and then won the World Cup. Haaland was playing in Austria.
For me, Mbappe
against farmers.
And then I would say Haaland. Honestly, if we're talking about just like raw
it goes Mbappe, Haaland, Foden.
I don't know about that. I think it's definitely Mbappe, Haaland. The rest is hard to call.
Yeah, Foden's amazing. Like, he's absolutely like, it's just his first touch. Like, do you know what it reminded me? Because I remember when Dennis Bergkamp retired, in his book he said something about the only thing I care about when I play football, I'm paraphrasing, is my first touch. It's like, if you have a good first touch, then you make time and space for yourself. It doesn't matter where anybody is. And Foden's first touch it's amazing. Like, it's something about him killing the ball is every touch is for him to move into that space. And so like, he seems like he's floating about, but because he knows where he's going to go before he gets the ball. It reminds me of, do you remember that thing Fabregas used to do, Ahmed, when someone used to play the ball and Fabregas' head was turning before the ball actually came to him. And so he knew his next pass before he touched the ball. But Foden does that with touches. Like, he knows where he's going before the ball comes to him. Like I think it's amazing. And also I think, and this is where I'm going to put my Arsenal hat on, I think that, when he first started and he's playing on the left and right, the wings, and when Wenger used to do that to players, when Wenger used to players, he's playing left and right.
He gives them a different sense. On the left wing for a couple of years.
It gives him because when he gets the ball, he knows that he can't just go to his right. He has to come indoors, so his touch is better. And I think that's made him a better player. Like, I think Foden's amazing. Like, I'll take him.
I think Foden's amazing. I'll say something though. Fabregas at the same age, shit's all over him. Let's be real.
Okay, let's not. We're not.
As much as he's a snake. Let's be real about this. Fabregas at that age.
No, Fabregas at 16 was doing mad things. There's no two
better than any young player I've ever seen anywhere. I'm telling you.
But I will say this: Foden is Iniesta-esque. That's what.
Whoa!
In the way, as in, what? No, I'm not. What I'm saying is, in the way that he carries the ball, he moves the ball. He's very, very sleek at getting past 2 or 3 players and playing a lovely 7-8 yard pass that will just cut through the field.
Yeah, I can see it.
Foden does that so, like, he's so easy, and that's what Iniesta used to do too. He was the master at that.
He has a long way to go before he even reaches Iniesta. Because for me, Iniesta.
Of course he does. Of course he does. I'm not saying that.
So.
No, but I think Canal say I think Canal say is that he has the same traits in Iniesta in terms of the way he plays, and the way he makes everything look easy, and also like he seemed to make the right decision more than not. If you know what I mean. And someone that young, you think I can dribble, I'll try and keep dribbling, but he doesn't. Like, well, maybe because he's got Guardiola as his boss, he knows like if he does something wrong, Guardiola will just take him off. Like, I will take you off. But like because if I was that young and I know I can dribble, I always try and dribble. Like I want my name in lights. But he's not like that. He's like, pass 2 players, let it go. If I can dribble past the third, I'll do it and I'll let it go. So I think he's absolutely amazing.
And the other thing is, which I'll say, just the last bit of comparison to Iniesta is, when you notice, when he's outside the box, he never smashes the ball. He always tries to pass it in and look for like curves around the corner, bottom corners, and pass the ball in. Iniesta always used to do that too. Iniesta wasn't a man to hit top corners. He was all passing the ball into the net. So that would be the last bit of comparison on it. But for me, game-wise, I mean, City started much brighter. Really, really on top. Went 2-0. Gundogan still getting on score sheets. Fantastic year for that lad. I mean, really, really turned it on again this year.
Question on that, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
Question on that. Do you think if City don't buy a striker, because Gundogan's done amazing this year, but can he do it 2 years running? Like, if City don't buy a striker, which they may not.
I don't. We talked about this a little bit on the last pod, mate. I don't think they're going to buy. They might not buy a striker. I think Fernand Torres will turn into the number 9.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
As in what? As in their false nine, basically. So because
Yeah.
he's not. Yeah, as in he'll drop in and drop out.
Yeah.
Okay. But do you think they need a striker like Haaland or a Kane?
Yes, absolutely. If you're going to get rid of Aguero, who is, in my eyes, top 3 Premier League strikers of all time, top 5 Premier League strikers of all time, you need something to replace that because he's done some magical things for that club.
But then flip that, this year they've had no striker and they've won the league and the Champions League final.
Yeah, but again, can you keep doing that? It won't be a pandemic. Fans will be back in the ground. It's a bit of a different. It's a bit of a different environment. Like this year, what you highlighted and when you were on the pod before is like how well City did at bringing their Cancelo into that role, right? Now you do that for a year. It doesn't. It's gonna then people cotton onto it, right? Just like Liverpool's game, people cotton onto that this year and just stop.
Like Sheffield United last year.
Yeah,
and with their 3 centre backs this year, it's not worked because everyone knows. All right, this guy's gonna bomb through the forward. Let's mark him.
Basically. So with the game though, just quickly my last bits on it. It's just Dunk's goal, mate, was very, very comical. But I'm also glad that he scored because he's like 7 for 8 left back. And just like Dan Burn. Yeah. But he's a nice lad and he's always attacking that. He's always trying. And you look at him and think, he can't play football, mate. But he's all right. He does all right.
Man is like 9'8" and he's like a left back. How does that work?
I don't know. Like when I see him, like all I see is like a giraffe in the Serengeti.
It's up and down and like he scuffed the first one and then kind of bounced off him. That was hilarious.
I haven't seen much of him though. Is he good? I haven't seen much of him. To be honest.
Good defender.
He's a good defender. Yeah, he's a good player.
Okay.
Ben White, they're all very, very good defenders.
It's a very good team, I think.
Very good team.
I quite like Trossard.
Yeah,
Trossard is amazing. Yeah.
He's unlucky.
Banging goals again. It just goes to show you like what good management can do. And if Potter was in charge of Arsenal, by the way, if Arteta was in charge of Brighton, they'd have been relegated time ago. He would have sent them down to the conference. That's how bad Teta is. But anyway, that's.
You know what? I saw one thing on, I think maybe it was on Twitter, and it had like an Arsenal team when Wenger was there. We had like Park up front, we had Shamak, we had I think Diaby, we had Song, and Drew. Our front two was Shamak and Park, and then I think the quote was, Wenger took this team to the top 4. It was Arteta, we'll be League One strugglers. And like it's just as you said, it's about management. Potter is just quiet. Gets like to me, he's going to be the next England manager for me.
Yeah, that's perfect. I think he'll be a great
England manager now. Like Southgate is nothing but you know he works in the same school as a PE teacher along with Oliver. Get rid, man. Get Potter for the Euros. England might actually win it.
So that is actually
you are Piers Morgan. You are Piers Morgan. You're a black Piers Morgan.
That is literally the worst thing you could ever call him.
So, Piers Morgan is an Arsenal fan, and conveniently we'll be talking about the Arsenal fan. He is an Arsenal fan. So conveniently, we'll be talking about the Arsenal game. We'll be talking about the Arsenal game next. So Ahmed, why don't you kick off on that?
I thought
3-1 Arsenal.
Yeah. Firstly, let me just say something. VAR, in the words of Ty from Arsenal Fan TV, VAR is a fucking disgrace. Or was that Drogba? I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know. I like VAR. But go on. No, it's like okay, sorry. Arsenal.
No.
Arsenal, not VAR.
No. You need to back up that statement. Why do you
no, because I feel okay, and this is my thing about pundits. I feel like if you're a pundit, you can't lose, right? And so before they'll moan about, if someone was offside, the linesman should see this, the linesman should do that. And you play, how do you see the ball being played and the person who's also making a run? VAR, the FA Cup goal, which was disallowed.
That's the only time I liked it, by the way.
No, like that, the linesman would have played it onside.
Yeah.
Because it was that close. But it was a right decision. Even though they'll say, some pundits go, it's by millimeters and that's not in faith of the game. No, it doesn't matter. He was offside. It's either right or wrong. And when an offside decision can be worth 10, 20 million pounds because a club get relegated because they've lost the game. It should be exact. Now,
if someone's toenail is offside, like what? That's
but you're offside. But are you not offside? Like if your elbow is out, you're offside.
But you can't score with your elbow.
The rules.
No, but unless the rule changes, though.
The rules, it should be clear daylight. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it should be daylight too.
Clear daylight between you and the defender, and do that by millimeters if you want. It should be an actual gap. If there's no gap, and there's
But then even that's ambiguous. Define the gap.
Daylight. It's just like so there is, so you can see between the players. Daylight. It's clear.
Yeah, but again, interpretation. What is daylight?
Well,
I can see through them.
It's a gap. There's a gap.
Because that's daylight. Or that can be daylight.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
That but it's all to me. Like I don't like ambiguity. Like to me, it's either you're off or you're on.
Yeah, that's why daylight. That's why daylight I think works well because there is no two ways of saying this person, his foot is past that person's foot, so it's clear.
So we're talking.
So it works. But I do think
right?
with Nana
ambiguity to that. What about Tyreek Mitchell hitting Callum Chambers with a leg breaker? That went to VAR. They said, yeah, yellow's fine. What are you talking? It's one of the worst tackles I've ever seen.
I'm not saying VAR is perfect. That's what I'm not saying. But because I think the people behind VAR at the moment they are getting some decisions wrong. But I think that the actual concept of it, I want it in football.
Do you know
that's fair enough.
Do La Liga fans complain about VAR? Do Serie A fans complain about VAR? Do Liga 1 fans complain about VAR? No, because they have competent referees. Ours are just dead.
I think for me personally, the VAR thing, I think it's perfect for offsides, right? I like that because it's as in change the rule, but for offsides it makes sense because it's just clean. There's no two ways about it. But for the judgment calls, I think that should be left to the ref. So like the ones where they have to go back to the screen, some of them are just so. I think it's so over the top.
Goes to the ref and say, "Go look at the screen." Every single one, go look at the screen.
No, and if you leave it to the ref, you have Alan Shearer moan about refs. So I hate Alan Shearer. But if you leave it to refs, Alan Shearer moan about refs, and like it's like no matter what, people are gonna moan. And them old school heads, they're like, "Oh no, she referee decision." But then you've been moaning referees for the last 15 years. So for once, there's a change to try and stop that, and you're still moaning. So what do you want? I mean, like VAR, I admit, sometimes they make bad decisions, and that's the people behind the screen. But the concept of it, I want it in football.
Yeah, the concept is a good one, but when some things happen, like for example, I think it was probably in the Liverpool game last week, they slowed something down and it made it look okay, but at full speed, it was terrible, right? So that's where I think the problem lies, is things like that, where it's like, there's no consistency across it at all right now.
And I feel they can solve that by putting a ref and an ex-player in the VAR box. Because you have both views. You have the ref who's down the rule book, and the player's like, no, but this is what happens when you're playing football. So, and let them converse, and then put it back out. At the moment, the ref's just playing by the book. But if you also have a player, not Danny Murphy, I also hate Danny Murphy, but if you have like a player who played professional football, also with the ref, and then they can have that conversation, then you get all sides. And I think that's a way of improving it. Currently you've got a referee who plays by the book. You're right or wrong, but he's not played, so he doesn't understand how the ball can run differently, or just things happen. But if you've got a player who's played it for 10 years, then yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Let's swing back to the Arsenal game. Ahmed, tell me.
Sorry.
No, I like it. I love it. I love the tangents.
I was going to say, Super Nick, much maligned. I do think he's kind of failed to live up to expectations. I do feel a lot of that is not his fault. He was under one terrorist as a manager who bought him, and now he plays under a super terrorist. So what is he actually supposed to do? He's had nothing but dog shit, behind him at right back for every single minute he's played at that club, really. Chambers has looked okay recently, but he's had no support on the right-hand side. Looked a lot better when he's playing on the left, when he's had KT behind him.
If anyone's going to look better with KT behind you.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I do think there is a player in there somewhere. And I don't know if he's going to make it Arsenal, but I think maybe for like a Dortmund. Yeah. I think if he went to Dortmund, he would do bits.
No. I don't. No, I with Armin. Like like Nicolas Pepe, I feel he got caught in the wrong time. Like he had a brilliant 2 seasons with Lille, then he came to Arsenal, and because of the price tag and where Arsenal was, us fans put so much expectation as in as in like he was our Ronaldo. But also don't forget the price tag we paid for him was only because like we could spread it over a longer period of time. Like Pepe should have been 70 million. Pepe should have been 45, 50. But we paid more because they allowed us to pay over a longer period of time. So so that price tag came in plus the expectation of Arsenal fans as he's our Ronaldo, which he never was. But we had nothing. So we thought he was. And he's getting better. Like as Arvid, I feel if he was at another team, he would be a brilliant player. Like I'm being like not even what I'm saying. The player is there. He just got a shit accompanying support stuff.
The player.
Okay, so for me,
there is a baller in there somewhere. I promise you.
Okay. I disagree with both of you, and I'll tell you why. And I think huh? Why are you going back to Oxford? Still bitter about him? That's fine. I let be bitter silently, Armin. The reason for me, I think he's one of those players that will always, in 10 games, show you something good. He'll score a nice goal, he'll have a nice finish, X, Y, Z. But I don't think he's your consistent 15 goals a season, 10 assists a season man. Like he was bought in for big money. I agree that you paid more.
He's got 14 goals this year, and he's barely played
across all competitions. It's not. Yeah, that's not fantastic in my eyes.
More than Mane.
Yeah, but Mane's been terrible this year. Like he's had a terrible season.
More than Mane.
But my point anyway on Pepe is more so is this. I just think, yes, I agree with you that you put a lot of pressure on him, but the best players will rise to that. And they will always rise to that. Like when we bought Suarez, there was so much pressure on him, he rose to that. Same with Torres, same with a lot of these players that we buy, there is so much expectation and they should rise to it. And he's been at your club, what, 3 years now? 2 years?
2 going on, I think this
going
season.
On 3?
Third, fourth.
Third. So in 3 full seasons, he's not had one Sunday season. And you're blaming the manager, I get that. But you would see more from him on a more consistent basis if he was the player you're making.
No, but 14 goals and what? About 8 assists? No, about 5 assists, I think. That's not a bad return.
Considering a player that's a bit like that doesn't start all too often in his position. Like he's not started every game either. So I think that's a decent return. And considering the fact that we barely score goals, how many goals does Oba have this year? Barely any.
Well, actually, what Nicolas Pepe scored this year is 8 goals, and he's had 1 assist, not 14.
This year, that's easy.
Yeah, this
8
season,
goals.
2021.
28 games.
28 games he scored.
I think that's 8 Premier League goals. I'm talking about
Premier League goals. I think he scored 6 Europa goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 Europa League goals. So he scored 14 goals, and he's giving you 1 assist in the Prem, and that's it. 1 assist and 16 goals across how many games? At least about 50 or 60 games.
Do me a favour. I beg you pull up Firmino's numbers.
Look at Firmino's numbers. Look at Firmino's numbers over the last 3 years, mate. They were smashing it, putting Nicolas Pepe out the window.
That's not going to help your argument.
But also, like what I say about Pepe is he's one of them players which I feel, even if he's not contributing in like assists or goals,
he gives something
because he's the only player also really have with an X factor. Mm-hmm. It kind of makes players focus on him a bit more, which may give the Smith Rolls and the Sakas a bit more space because he's a player that can do a correct turn and break Lewis Dunk's legs. Do you know what I mean? And so like yeah, you're right. He's not been worth the £72 million that we paid for him. But what else do we have?
No, but you have players like Kieran Tierney, who is class, who's a well-be at. Yeah, left back, no. But, okay, Odegaard, quality player. Martinelli, better than Pepe in my eyes. Martinelli plays out wide. Martinelli plays out wide. He does play out wide.
Again, but why doesn't Martinelli start every week? We have a terrorist in charge. He came on, and then he got the winner. He's frozen out Reece Nelson, who I think could be one of the best wingers ever, in my opinion. He has everything in his locker, just doesn't get a game.
Arsenal.
In general, I don't know about Arsenal, but I'm saying somewhere he has it in him to be an excellent player. He just doesn't get a game. He doesn't even make the bench. He puts fucking Willian and Ceballos on the bench.
I mean,
that is Ceballos. I hope he goes back to Madrid.
I'll pay for his plane ticket. Furthermore, I'll drive.
To me, he's too slow for the Premiership.
Just, I've never seen a guy that is.
Well, I prefer to Xhaka in your team. I think
I
think it's better than
Ceballos.
Yeah.
The reason I quite like so much, well, because I think he likes to play forward more so.
You take him then. How about that? Give us Genie for.
We're not going to give you anyone. We're not going to give you anyone. Okay. Sure, we'll give you him.
If you like him so much, take him.
No, I don't like him. I don't like him more than any of my players, mate. But I'm just saying, I don't think he's as bad. I don't think he's as bad as you.
That's like saying, "Oh, your girl is gorgeous, but not for me."
What's wrong with that? That's fair as well. That's fair as well. That's polite.
That's how this guy says it all the time. Oh, you're gorgeous, bro. Not for me.
What? I say what? Me?
No, not you. Sorry, I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
That says that all the time. No,
Canal's the player. Canal's the one who got that hair.
No, none of that. I'm quite.
Canal's the Asian Justin Bieber.
Adrian Wayne Lineker.
Wow, that's an insult. Also, I wanted to highlight Benteke's lads. Like this guy, the last 4 or 5 games has been scoring some goals, looking a bit more some sort of a player like he was back in the day when he was at like Villa and stuff. And I was saying this sort of like, is he? I think he deserves to move away personally. Like somewhere where he's going to be like in a slightly more attacking team that's going to create a bit more, because I think he's still got a little bit left to give him. I liked him. Like I felt for him at Liverpool. He had a terrible time.
He did, yeah.
He used to tear us
apart. Where did he come from before Liverpool?
Villa.
Before Liverpool. Oh, okay.
Liverpool and then Palace, but yeah, I think. Do you know what? I think Benteke might be back. You know, I think.
I wouldn't go that far, but I'd say that in another league, if you got to move somewhere.
No, I'm not going to say like maybe not Palace, but somewhere else in the Prem or another league, maybe he could be back. I mean, this guy, if we remember, like 2013, he terrorized teams. I remember the 2015 FA Cup final having sleepless nights because we were playing Villa, and Villa were about to go down. They were about to get relegated. They were absolute dog shit. But I was like, if Benteke up against like Koscielny or Mertesacker, it's going to be.
Bro,
you know, it's like you break into a cold sweat in the middle of the night thinking, like, honestly, in the end, it didn't matter because we won 4-0, but and he didn't do shit. But yeah, I think he might be back.
Well, Nana, how did you see the Arsenal game, mate?
It's like, again, they play against a team which I thought didn't really care. Like they've checked out. Pepe looked good for me. He scored 2 goals. He looked like he was running. He was doing a few tricks. It's good that Martinez gets some time because I think we're going to need players like him because we can't buy anyone because somehow we're broke. And so like we're going to need players like him. And I think it was nice for Arsenal just to have some joy again. It's been a hapless season. It's been a bad season, to be honest. Like, and I can't see it changing. I think it's going to be because Kroenke are going to keep Arteta.
They will, yeah. I think so.
So like this is us for another 2-3 years. Like we have fallen so far. Like Leicester, West Ham, there are actually better teams than us. Like Leicester is from management, board level to playing staff, their team's better. Like how is that possible? How is that possible? Like we're Arsenal, but yet Leicester have got a better team.
You know what my favourite stat about Leicester is that we beat them on the final day of 2004 to win the Premier League title, to go unbeaten. We beat them 2-1 at Highbury. That was the last time we won the league. Leicester went down to League One, almost went down to League Two, came back up to the Prem, avoided relegation by the skin of their teeth. Next season won the Premier League, and we haven't even got fucking close to it since.
We're 10th.
Yes, I think the thing with Leicester, mate, is they've done it the right way. Like really good owners that care about the club, care about the community. Then I think that's just filtered throughout the whole club, top to bottom. Let's look at West Ham, mate, the team that you're saying is better than you. I think it was 3-1 West Ham against West Brom. Their race for Europe is definitely still on. The opener, I mean, the missed penalty from Rice, that was a gift for Antonio when it was a terrible pass. I'm surprised Rice missed that. I quite like Declan Rice. I think he's a very, very good midfielder in my eyes.
Yeah.
Big fan of his. And actually, I mean, I would take him in the Liverpool team. I know that he doesn't have a place because for me, you would be there, but we need a replacement for Chini because he's definitely on his way out.
What have I told you about players missing penalties from 12 yards?
Yes, I know. But it was.
What was he saying about players?
Ahmed says that if you get paid £100 a week, that you should never, ever in your life miss a penalty because he is an amateur footballer. Because he is an amateur footballer who's not missed a penalty, but he's not taking one in front of 90,000 fans, and he thinks there's no pressure.
Yeah, but
you're a professional footballer. You should never, ever miss from 12 yards out. No way.
Do you think LeBron James is never missed a layup, and he's literally by the ring?
That's different. There are more.
Why?
Why is different?
Because
has he ever missed a free throw?
The target is way smaller. If I still don't agree with it. I still think they should make most of their shots, but the basket and the ball, it's pure physics. Okay, that I understand. That is a physics issue, not a skill of a player issue.
Ahmed, a layup. Your fingers are on the rim.
Not all the time. Not all the time. You know, you can lay it up, and maybe the layup is poor. Maybe it's on an angle. Maybe it's away from the basket. Who knows? A free throw, the same thing. A football player, 12 yards out. Okay.
Well, yeah. So we disagree on that because that was one of Ahmed's famous Deadball opinions a few weeks ago. But the West Brom goal, very lucky. I mean, it was from a corner direct. I want to big up.
He's got to leave.
Yeah.
Pereira's got to leave. He's what, 14 goals, something like that. He's done brilliant.
I'd take him, Arsenal. Great player.
No.
I would. He's good.
But he's not. Okay, it's okay. Go on.
You don't need to divert back to Arsenal, mate. forget your dead club every week.
You've got two hurting Arsenal fans. What do you expect? Come on, this is therapy for us.
What I wanted to do was big up Soucek, who kind of scored the own goal, but he's had a stellar year for West Ham. Is he essentially the new Marion Fellaini in disguise? Because he's a beast.
He's better than Fellaini.
Better than Fellaini.
Yeah, but I mean, he's playing that role for West Ham right now, isn't he? If you think about it, leader, solid in the air, better at his feet. I thought Fellaini was all right personally. I think people gave him a really hard time because even at Man United, he was all right. Fellaini, I thought.
Oh, ask Man United fans what they think of Fellaini. Fellaini is basically just like this battering ram with an afro. Did he not keep him in? Did he not win him something? I'm pretty sure he won him a trophy. Fellaini?
Yeah, he scored some headers, like really vital headers in the last minute.
I remember him getting a couple of winners, but then that's the whole point of Fellaini, isn't he? He's a battering ram. You know, he's long hoof, long ball.
So you know where you're getting. How can you hate that? You can't hate that. He does what he.
Interested in that brand of Stoke style Brexit football.
I love that Brexit football.
But go on, tell me about the game. Tell me about the West Brom game.
Who, me or no? Oh, sorry,
you.
Yeah. So I thought it was a terrible back pass. I forgot who it was, but it was a terrible back pass. Antonio was on it. I don't think it was a penalty, by the way. I don't think it was a penalty.
Why?
Because I think Antonio ran into him. Into him. For me, it wasn't a penalty. So
the smart players do that. A lot of players do
that. See, that thing that, you know, when it's that kind of thing where a defender has the ball and then he swings for it, and then the striker puts himself in between. Mm-hmm. To me, that's not a penalty.
Yeah.
Why? Because he got there first. I got there before you kicked me. How's that my fault? I'm there. You kicked the back of me. Is that if a kick anywhere else happened, you call it foul?
Kick him though. Antonio literally ran. Antonio body checked him.
No, but go on now. No, because that's a slightly different situation. I mean,
but because I think this was last week. I can't remember
the Chelsea one, wasn't it?
Like the defender had the ball, and he went to kick it out, and Werner put himself in that position. Yeah. That's like if I if I go to hammer something and then someone puts their hand in front of the hammer, do I get in trouble for it?
No, no, but think of it this way, right? Think of it this way.
Sounds like a real life experience for you.
Think of it this way.
There's 2 weeks working in that building site. No wonder you had to leave abruptly.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. That's hard labor, bro. Nah.
That was like 6 a.m. start.
We left them days back in the cornfield a long time ago. I'm done.
But think about it this way, right? If a player just nicks ahead of another player and he gets kicked, that's a foul, right?
Yeah, that.
Right. So how is that any different just because he's come around the back of him and done it that way? What's the difference?
Because you put yourself in that position. But
you in the same way you put yourself in that position too.
No, but you're both. I see your point. But to me, if you're both going for it, then.
But that's the same thing. You are both going for it in that way. I've just got there first.
I'm kicking the ball.
No, but you've not kicked the ball yet. You haven't. Your foot's in the air.
Yourself in the middle.
Yeah, but you've not kicked it. I got in your way. That's not my. That's your fault. You should be quicker at kicking the ball.
If I'm an innocent standby in a drive-by, is that my fault?
No, but that's just football. You don't get shot at in the streets. You're kicking the ball, man.
I'll tell you what, that is proof that Nano played alongside Beckham.
Yeah.
Sorry. I took it too close to home. My bad. It's okay. Go on.
Go. Tell me how you saw the game anyway.
I think again West Ham they surprised me all year because I think their manager I've never rated the manager. Yeah.
Neither have I, but you have to give him props though.
No, you have to. He's done it. They're playing expansive football. They especially with Suchek. Like, I'll take Suchek for Arsenal. He's commanding. He knows what he's nothing fancy, but you know what you're getting with him. And he because of his performances, the rest of the players they rise up. Like, you know what I mean? Like if the ball gone in the air, don't worry, he's got it. Do you know what I mean? And it gives that confidence. And we don't have that. Like Arsenal was over here, Ceballos. Okay. Yeah, we've lost this one. We've lost this one. But no, West Ham and since the what's his name, the Man U guy came in. Lingard.
Well, again, great, but you have to give him his props.
Yeah,
been great.
Should he go in the Euros?
No, absolutely
not. Yes, absolutely.
No, he shouldn't. There are so many.
Why? As an option, as a striking option.
Who are you going to drop? Everyone on that plane is accounted for. There are some.
Wow. Trent's not getting on that plane, mate.
Trent is. Trent is going on the start.
Yeah, if Trent doesn't go, that's I don't know.
That's a crime.
I think Trent's had sex with South's daughter or something. That's ridiculous.
Like Zaha and Moyes.
When Patrick's ever dropped that bomb.
Yeah, if Patrick's ever dropped that bomb and then like, oh shit. Like for example, Jadon Sancho is not going to the Euros.
He is going to Euros.
He won't.
He won't go
to
the Euros.
He's going to take Maddison, Grealish, Foden.
Madison won't go either. I think he's taking Grealish, Foden,
Rashford, Sterling.
I think.
You're not taking Jadon Sancho. That's ridiculous. I could bet you money taking Jadon Sancho. There's no way he's not.
He will take.
He has to take.
He's not taking Sancho. He's not going to make. I think Jadon Sancho is a baller. Yeah. I would take him all day long. I'd take him.
He has to take it. He has to take it.
That's the headache. Who would you drop?
There's so many players in that position.
You're going to drop Foden?
It's 26 players now, right? It's 26 players now, yeah?
No, so I think it's like, for example, it's 2 per position, basically. So who are you going to drop?
Yeah. Okay, it's 2 per position. So they're going to play 2 wings and a striker, right?
Yes, you got Grealish.
So that's 6
Rashford
players
on the left.
Yeah, 6 players. Yeah.
So Grealish, Rashford, Sterling, Foden, Kane,
and another striker.
And then either Madison or
no, there's another striker. It'd be like Ings.
Yeah, but I mean, you put Rashford. Rashford can be number 9.
Oh yeah, Rashford. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but
then
Madison ain't making the plane. Sancho ain't making the planes.
There's a lot of players.
It's that's how.
England's team's not too bad, you know.
It's amazing, mate. They're attacking front. They've got so many choices. So many choices.
Listen, England went to the Germany World Cup in 2006 with a midfield of Gerrard, Lampard, Beckham, Scholes, and still lost. But
I still okay. It's gonna sound. I'm gonna sound like Ahmed. I think.
You wish you
to me, that them 4 don't work.
Yes.
Because they're all central midfielders.
Correct.
Yes. Like even Beckham to a point. Well, he played right, but he was still like he was more inside than out. To me anyway, because he didn't have the pace to beat the man on the right. And I know he can cross, but he still sometimes you had to beat the man on the right to cross. So he'll come in. But but like this generation is pure ball players, and they can all switch position. Like you don't have to stay like every single player left, right. Even Kane could drop to number into a number 8 position.
He could.
And do you know what I mean? So like for once, England have got a fluid attacking force, but Southgate's too rigid.
No,
Southgate likes.
He's not good enough.
No, it's not.
No, sorry, I was going to say we forgot to mention Mason Mount as well in that lineup.
Mason, yeah, he's going to.
Yeah, but Mason Mount to me will sit a bit deeper, so he'll be one of the midfielders. I feel anyway.
I think it will either be Hendo.
Yeah, it will be Hendo.
But Hendo hasn't played.
He'll start. Trust me, he's too good to be.
So midfield will be what? Hendo who?
Hendo and
Declan Rice.
That's Rice.
And Phillips, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, one of those.
And not Mount from central midfield.
No, he won't play him out there.
He'll play him out wide left, I think.
Yeah.
I like that.
But he can't play out wide left because he's got too many players out wide left. England. England team this year. It's a problem. It's a problem. But that's off topic. So it's okay.
No. That's fine, mate. That's fine. Let's move on to the Man United Fulham game. We've got about 4 or 5 games to get through anyway. So Man United Fulham was 1-1. United's second was confirmed, and Fulham were down. So it was never a serious game, right? Nothing to play for. Cavani's goal, for me, goal of the season, or up there. I can't think of too many other goals that were as good as that this year.
Brilliant.
I can't think of any really, really great goals this year. If I'm
offside though. Good.
Well, not offside in my eyes, but I didn't touch it. But perfect goal for the fans to be back. I mean, Fulham were dangerous as they always are throughout. And the one thing I will say is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's excuse for drawing that game was pathetic. He said, because the fans are back, we were trying too many flicks and tricks to entertain the fans. We were just thinking about entertaining the fans. That's why we drew that game.
Why are you surprised that a PE teacher has come up with that excuse?
A PE teacher that finished second again.
That's what I was going to say. He's still second.
Yeah, because everyone's
still second, are we?
Because everyone's
league final.
Well, we'll see about that. Come on, Villarreal.
But go on, Nana, tell me how did you see the Man United Fulham game?
As you said, it didn't really matter. But like Cavani's goal was absolutely amazing. Although I found it weird that they announced goal of the season before the end of the season because Bruno Fernandes won the Man U goal of the season and he got presented something before the match, but then it's on the end of the season. And so it's like Cavani's goal.
Yeah.
What? It just disappears.
Yeah.
I mean, but brilliant goal from like he's my man crush. I mean, like he's a specimen.
He used to be mine, but then he moved to United, and he was dead to me after that.
He signed a new deal as well, hasn't he? Everyone thought he was going to go, but he signed a new deal.
Such a baller. I would say he has the best movement of any striker I've ever seen.
I'd say I would.
Pure movement, like when it comes to getting to positions and beating his marker.
He's up there. He's up there.
I don't know.
You know who I feel? It's controversial, and I'm not going to get slated for this. Fucking Robbie Fowler.
Robbie Fowler's
movement.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Robbie Fowler's movement. That's when I learned about strikers' movement. Watching Robbie Fowler because he wasn't quick, wasn't particularly strong, but it's just he'll dart in, the pen will go in, and he'll drop back out, he'll drop back out and then dart in. It's that kind of, to me, because like at least Cavani, he's big and he's athletic. Fowler's a drug addict. You know what I mean? But sorry. That's liable.
Allegedly.
But I remember when I was young watching football, I used to love watching Robbie Fowler, not because of his goals, just to watch his movement. Like, just for someone who wasn't particularly quick or athletic, but he will always be there. Like, so to me, it's Fowler. To me, it's Fowler.
That is not a dead ball opinion. I actually co-sign that opinion. That is
okay. Thank you. Because I thought you'd come at me.
No. That's an excellent thing. I couldn't agree with you. Wonderful. Yeah.
But I do think, and it's maybe another topic, but I do think them signing Cavani means that Man U won't go for Kane.
Ooh, that's a good point. I can see that.
Because you can't have Kane and Cavani in the same team. And you can't tell Cavani, you can't buy Kane and tell Cavani on his wages because he's a free transfer. Sit. Nah, come on. So,
I think Kane to Man City seems to be gathering a bit of pace.
Yeah, but Levy said that Kane won't go to anyone in the UK.
Well, where's he going to go to? Madrid or Barcelona can't afford him.
They ain't got no money.
They ain't got no money.
I don't think he'll go.
I think, but do you know what? I saw an interview with him and Gary Neville today, and he said some stuff which, for me, I think it's just so late in your career now. So he's 27 years old, as we all know. This man's got glass ankles. He said, "I want to be playing in the biggest games." Fine, 3 years of 4 years of your career left, you can definitely play that. But then he started talking about scoring, and he was like, "I want to be hitting 50, 60, 70 goals a year consistently." Now, in my eyes, I think, if you wanted to be like Messi and Ronaldo, as you say, you would have left Spurs about 5 years ago. And then gone to a club where you actually got a realistic chance of doing that. Because at Spurs, he never had a realistic chance of doing that.
I think he's going to go to PSG, link up with Pochettino again.
Interesting.
PSG can't afford his wages. PSG, I'm just saying, PSG are in FFP trouble. It got relaxed this year because of the pandemic. But it goes next year. They've just signed Neymar on a bumper deal. They're going to sign Mbappe. No, but that's the thing. With FFP, they've got to balance the books out. That's why PSG's squad is shit. Yeah. Because they can't afford to pay players high wages because of Neymar and Mbappe.
They spend their money on like 2 or 3 players. Yeah, you're spot on.
Yeah, so like... So again?
The rat team must be on big money.
It's not as big as but what I'm saying is that they can pay Kane's fee easily, but they can't balance the book because they're still FFP trouble.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And like they've been investigating same thing as Man City because they sold some rights, but it was way inflated. Inflated sales. So it's like they can afford them, but they can't, if that makes sense. And if you're a Kane, would you go to PSG?
I would. You could win the Champions League. You'd probably win Liga most years. Hopefully not this year. Come on, Lille, you can do it. It's if I was him, I'd definitely consider PSG.
I don't know. I just because Levy's going to demand 120, 130. Kane signed a 6-year deal 3 years ago, so like there's no pressure for him for Levy to let him go. No one can afford him in this pandemic, so he can't go to Italy or Spain.
Jeez, Spain then, right?
Yeah, like Man United, I don't think Man United will afford him. And at City, even though Kane is in his prime now, Haaland next year, 75 million. Because his clause kicks in.
I don't think Go on, sorry.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, I don't think any big moves will happen this year. Like,
it's like if I was City, I've got a good shout of getting Haaland because I'm City and I've got Pep. Kane 125 million or Haaland 75. Haaland's 22. He'd be there for 10 years. Kane 3 years of glass ankles. Nah.
It doesn't make sense. You're right.
Yeah.
So let's jump onto the Villa Spurs game. So it was 2-1 to Villa. Ahmed, kick us off, mate.
Yeah. Really interesting game to watch. Great finish by Bergwijn, by the way.
He was, I thought so.
Smashed it, top in. Really, really good. However, Sergio Reguilon, after that game, he was dubbed Sergio Reguladon because of his mistake and his what did he do? His own goal and then he kind of made a like a pull back pass to allow Ollie Watkins to come in. He had a shocking game. I thought Villa were good value for the win. Really like Ollie Watkins, but I'll say something. If a Premier League club has any ambition, they should go out and buy Ivan Toney tomorrow. If Watkins has scored 16 Premier League goals, whatever it is, Toney will smash it. This guy is an out and out.
Tony had a shocker. Tony had a shocker in a playoff match though.
He
did nothing.
But there's one to go. You know, there's a return leg and he can still redeem himself. But if you know, listen, we all love Ollie Watkins. We know how great he is. We knew how great he was at Brentford. Pick up Ivan Toney. Honestly, like for me as a Laka replacement, I'd take him all day long.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But then the amount you got to pay for him.
Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous. Like whatever I think Villa paid 30 something for Watkins. They're going to want more for Toney. But it just goes to show you, like Brentford is such a astute club. You know, they've sold Ben Rama over the years, Ezri Konsa. You know, they've had some real good players. Neil Mope. You know, they
come remember? Oh wow, okay, yeah.
So they buy these players on the cheap and sell them on for a lot of money. So great management.
It sounds like we should as Arsenal go and get their scout team, because our scout team is just.
Oh, we could just support Brentford. I mean, they're playing red and white, so.
Yeah, it might be easier because basically our scouting network is Kia Jarabjan. That's our scouting network. So basically, he's our chief scout, our head scout. He's just
everything.
Parasite. This guy forwarded his way into England by bringing Tevez and Mascherano on some mad.
That was the maddest transfer of all time.
Like half owned by the club, half owned by like an investment bank or some shit.
They were. He owned them.
He owned them.
He owned them,
mate. He basically is one of those guys you should go to South America and be like, I'll take you to professional football to sign your life away, mate. You'd own them. You'd own these human beings.
You own a guy. How does that work?
I remember it. That's why, because when the West Ham deal happened, when those two players were brought over, there's so much like commotion around this.
Dodge, man. That guy is a real fly-by-night character. Very unsavory.
Please.
Back to like I actually quite like Villa. As a team, I think they play really well. They're expansive. With me, that's what I like. I like teams which can just get hold of the ball and spread it around, and they try to play the right way, and they're a good, solid Premiership team for me. Like a very good, solid Premiership team.
Did it by the skin of their teeth last season, and they kind of built on that. A lot of respect. I'm glad they set up last year. And listen, for me, you know, we need Villa in the Premier League in the same way that we need Sheffield Wednesday, we need Leeds, we need Norwich, we need Nottingham Forest. You know, we need these clubs in the Premier League. You know, they're a football heritage.
But if they come, clubs will go.
Well, good. Exactly. Get rid of Burnley. What the fuck are Burnley doing in the Premier League?
Come on, Sean Dyche. Put some respect in his name in it.
He's done a good job. I'll give him that.
He's done a brilliant job. Like they're a Premiership club on a League One budget.
Yeah, it's true. They don't buy anyone. Yeah, and they stay up in there. Yeah, and they only buy players if they're born within 20 miles of the ground. You know,
they'll only buy players if they wash Sean Dyche's car before they sign a contract.
The last black guy to ever play for Burnley was Robbie Blake. Remember Robbie Blake?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
But
no. Go, Kane.
I was going to say, just going back to the Villa game, mate.
Sorry.
The most unfocused show we've ever had.
That's my fault.
Right, so I agree. It was a class finish from Bergwijn. The thing for me is that own goal could also be up there for goal of the season. I mean, it was an insane finish, man. Yeah. It was pure top bins. That pinged it volume. I mean, the second half was all Spurs. So the Spurs thing, I mean, where do we see Spurs going now? Because if Kane goes, right, and I don't think anyone can afford him this year, so I agree with you. I don't think he will go this year. But if he does go, what happens to people like Son? Son's amazing. Like he's just toiling away at a club that's going to.
I think Son will go too. I think Kane goes. Why is Son going to stay there?
But Levy would never prove two of those sales in one go. Not a chance. Not a chance.
See, I think this is a very worrying time for Spurs.
Yeah.
Because I think Spurs now can follow the Arsenal route, where they've lost their manager, Pochettino. I don't count Mourinho. They lost the manager who was pushing them forward. He's had a bad season and they let him go, and they're just in limbo at the moment. Like no big manager is going to really want to go Spurs. They may lose their best player, and like he's not even their best player. He's their club. I mean, like Kane is Spurs. Like Son, don't get twisted. Son's amazing, but Son can't carry Spurs. Like Son can't carry Spurs like Kane does on his back, and I feel like they're in that space where it could just be they just fall to the Arsenal trap where they start falling. So
I don't think you're wrong, mate. I think the thing is, Spurs they've just bought a massive new stadium, a humongous one, which is for NFL and loads of stuff. So they need fans in there. They need big players, and they need to be winning stuff. There's having them buying that club, that stadium, and then getting rid of Poch and doing all this business, not really buying many players. It's such a weird thing. It's like your team's getting worse, but your setting's getting better. So eventually it's going to be a point of like, it's just not sustainable, is it, forever? I think Spurs are on a very wary place at the moment. Good, but... Good, but yeah, no. I like that. Right, let's look at the Newcastle Sheffield United game. So, Willock, scoring headers, your boy.
Man like Joe. I told you.
We've been hyping him up.
6 goals, 6 games, isn't it? Something stupid like that.
It is, yeah. And we've been hyping up every week. I mean, in that game, I think Sheffield United could have won it. McGoldrick missed a hat-trick of chances. His free kick perhaps was not, it was hit so well, and he hit the bar as well, isn't it? But the first chance he had was a bit of a sitter. And Ramsdale had a good game for Sheffield United overall.
Yeah,
but not really a game for loads of chances. It was a bit boring for me. It was lovely. It's good to see Willock scoring goals, and I like to see young players just doing well. And like Willock, Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, Odegaard. You have got a little four there at Arsenal, and I don't want to talk about Arsenal too long, but there is a little four there at Arsenal that are young, keen, and very, very quality football players. That says a lot. And if you throw Martinelli in that, that's fine. I think this whole thing about the Arsenal trap, like you have actually got within your core a good enough team there. Perhaps your back four, and I think Leno's not good, but I think your back four and Leno let you down. But above that, it's not the worst thing of all time. It's not as bad as I think.
It's not. It's just poorly managed. And another example of that is letting Willock go out on loan. Why would you let him and Maitland-Niles could have easily done a job for us this season? To get rid of fucking Ceballos or where the fuck is in there? No good. What you telling me Willock has more goals combined in the last 6 games than our entire midfield across the whole fucking season? What does that tell you? And I told you like ages ago, right? There are shades of the Aaron Ramsey about Willock that I see in him. You know, arrives late in the box, gets a goal, good with his head, both feet, energy, box to box. Why on earth would you let someone like that go?
To me, Willock. Technically, I don't think he's the best player in the world. But I'll still have him in the Arsenal squad for energy. Because sometimes Arsenal, we are so slow moving the ball, and we just need energy. Because I said we have the players, but we move the ball so slow, the players can't play. So even if Willock isn't the greatest on the ball, like Ceballos is, he has energy. He'll pick the ball up and he'll drive forward. He'll pick, or if someone beats him, he'll then track him back and chase him, win the ball, and give it away. And that does a lot. Especially, it just gives you a bit of impetus, a bit of oomph.
Yeah.
And another thing as well, Willock's goals have kept Newcastle up this year. There's no two ways about it. Without his goals, I promise you, they'd be in a relegation fight. Right?
Nah,
come on.
Saint Maximin kept Newcastle.
Easy Paris.
Saint Maximin is an absolute baller, but they were sliding down the table very quickly.
Should should Bruce stay?
I like Bruce. I said it last time. I like Bruce. I think
he should have one more season. Yeah.
I think Newcastle have similar mindsets to Arsenal fans. This is what I was kind of saying to Arsenal Ahmed rather before. Is that Newcastle were once an elite club. They were doing fantastic things, like competing Champions League, like pushing, like winning Champions League, competing in everything. And Arsenal the same thing. I think the expectations of the fans is so high. But for the last 10 years, 15 years, Newcastle have not been a club. So your expectations need to match what your club is at. And with Mike Ashley as an owner...
I'm sorry, but Newcastle fans deserve more. Look at that stadium they have. Look at the revenue they generate as a club. If you look at their support, they should be doing
the one city club.
Yeah,
it's
one city club. That's huge. Look at all that support they have. I'm sorry, but they shouldn't be flirting with relegation every season. I'm sorry.
But there's no money that goes into the club, mate. It's not like Mike Ashley's giving Steve Bruce a war chest every year to spend that money. He's done so good with such a crap. Like he's the one that's got players like Sam Maximan and players like Shelby into the squad, doing him a job, getting Willock on loan. That's all Steve Bruce.
They never should have got rid of Rafa Benitez for me. He would have been. He's like. He's the best manager they ever could have got.
Yeah, but Rafa didn't get along with Ashley, so Rafa's like, I'm done.
He does. I mean, Newcastle fans don't like Ashley, so yeah.
But to be fair, like I don't think Newcastle fans want to be, or they do want to be, but I don't think they expect to be top 5 or Europe. I just think they want a team just to play football. Okay. And under Bruce, sometimes it is turgid. Like, it's like watching Newcastle. It's easier to have constipation. You know what I mean? It's sometimes you watch it like, yeah, I'm going to toilet. So and like I think Newcastle fans just want some bit of excitement. That's why they love St. Maximin so much. He just gives them a bit of something different. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Newcastle have always churned out good players. Faustino Asprilla, David Ginola, they've had Alan Shearer. They've always had superstars in their club. And Sam Maximin, Sam Maximin is definitely that guy at this period of time for that club, right? He's the superstar. He's a great player. Let's look at the penultimate game for the podcast, which is Southampton Leeds. It was 2-0 to Leeds. Ahmed, your favourite club? Kick us off.
Brilliant. I'm not surprised, but a lot of people say that Bielsa's team would have kind of fallen off, and that's what they do. Leeds they run out of steam because they're high energy and whatnot. I think they've won their last 3 games. Mm-hmm. They beat
confirmed top 10 finish now for them as well.
Look at that. I mean, for me, they are the second best team to come up from the Championship to play in the Prem after that Wolves side that came up a couple of years ago.
Yeah, good shout. Good shout. Really good shout there, yeah. Really good shout.
That Wolves team was a different level, and this Leeds team is not far behind it. They're going to be a force to reckon with for a while. And for me, it's all down to Bielsa. Also, shout out to Patrick Bamford. A lot of people said he would flop. He played last time he was in the Prem. He played for Borough. Didn't really do too well, but from what I saw of him in the Championship, I said he's going to come up and bang a few goals, and he has.
But do you know, if anything, I mean, like, back to your comment about the Wolves thing, if anything, I rate this Leeds team, what they've done, better than what the Wolves team done, because the Wolves team had that super agent bringing all these players in terms of like he brought Moutinho, he brought Jimenez, he brought who's the central midfielder? Ruben Neves is like upper echelon kind of player. And
he was paying for him in the Championship, by the way. Ruben Neves.
That's ridiculous. So to me, they had superstar players because what was Mendes? That's it. It was Mendes. Leeds is a bit more organic. Like, is this Bielsa finding players? He's turned Phillips into a really good midfielder. Yeah. They play out from the back. Big central defenders are comfortable on the ball. So to me, I think this one's just a bit better because they don't have a super agent who's bringing every Portuguese player known to man. The fucking Wolves.
That's a good point, actually. I didn't consider that. Now you mention it, I think that's... Yeah, because I think Wolves had a bit of a leg up, I think, in getting all these... Like,
Neves! Come on!
Having João Moutinho in your team,
I would kill central midfield like that.
Think about it. The try that they had was Neves, Moutinho, Raul Jimenez, and Jota. Come on.
Diogo Jota.
Come on.
Yeah, that's.
Come on.
Why could we
Come
forget
on.
about Diogo? What a team that was.
That's not fair. That's not.
Yeah.
And you were in the championship. Nah, come on.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of scam that man just pulled off, but that's amazing.
So for me, I think Southampton had some decent chances. I actually think they deserved a bit more out of that game. I think they could have got a draw out quite easily. Roberts' finish though for Leeds was so classy. The composure and the technique in that. I was watching that thinking, yeah, you're a little player there, mate. Because he's not been the one for me that's been the shining light. It's been more like Calvin Phillips and Bamford and Rafinha have been the three for me that have just really, really stood out. But that just showed me within itself that level of like composure and class just runs through the squad so smoothly. It's just they've all.
I think no, but I don't think they had it. I think Bielsa's given them it. Like to me, that's management. To me, like these Leeds players look like they're not world beaters, but on the ball they are so comfortable, and like that's from the manager. Like Bielsa doesn't want you the ball in the air; he wants the ball on the ground, moving quick to quick, beat one player, pass it off, beat one player, and that's just and he drilled it into them. Like and then Leeds know how to play. Sometimes they go too far, which some of them get beat 4-5-0 because that's Bielsa. I mean, like Bielsa, his team schools get beat 4-5-0. But when it clicks, they're amazing to me anyway. Like I love watching Leeds play.
Yeah,
and they'll run to the end, 90 minutes.
Yeah, agreed. Right, last game of the podcast before the predictions is Everton Wolves. So it was 1-0 to Everton. Nana, do you want to jump into that one, mate?
It's a bit of a dead game.
It words out my mouth.
It really was. It's terrible.
Everton to me started great. They've got a good team. I think it just hasn't worked out. I don't know why. Ancelotti, I thought, would have kept it up. It just seems that they've just gone a bit dead.
Yeah.
And I don't really understand because they had the makers of a good team. They've got a superstar manager. It just hasn't worked, and I'm not really sure why. But I suppose there always had to be a team mid-table, so maybe that's just the way it is. They're a mid-table team, but I thought they would have kept what they had in the beginning of the season up because they had Rodriguez. I mean, and they have Ancelotti, but it just didn't work.
Calvert-Lewin too.
And they Calvert-Lewin too, yeah.
I mean, I think that Pickford's hair looks stupid. That's the first thing I wanted to say. He looks like a fucking idiot. But separate to that,
you're only hating because Lucan kicked your centre half.
Johnny Cage shadow kicked. He's confirmed.
Johnny Cage.
But for Wolves, I think Fabio Silva is not the answer. I think he's not the guy. I mean, I like him. He's a very, very young kid. But watching him, he gets in good positions, but he's missing a lot of chances. And I think the bit for me that stands out is like younger players generally get in the positions a bit less, but score goals because they're so excitable. I think he just, I don't know. I don't think he's young and he could definitely do it. But I think if he went somewhere like France or Germany, I think he'd be a good player that get you 15, 20 goals a year. I just don't think the Prem's for him.
Too early to judge for me. I think there is potential there. But I don't know. I'd give him maybe another season.
Yeah, I mean, go on.
No, I think just what you said. I think the fact that he's getting into positions and he's getting the shots off means that I think that if he does bag a few in a row, then like he'll just start. Like I like the way he plays. I like him. He's come from the Mendes boat, so like he must have potential, and he just hasn't happened for him. But again, same thing that I think if he was playing like in like France, probably would have bagged about maybe 15, 20 goals because he's there. He just hasn't worked for him. But again, as Varman said, I think give him another season. Next season, if he doesn't do it, then fair enough, take him back to Portugal. But for the meantime, I think give him another go because he looks good. Good. He's a trier. He's a trier as well.
He's a trier. He's very much. It was a good header for Everton's goal from Richarlison. Also, it's like Everton's European dreams, which you kind of touched on, Nana, like they're still slimly alive. The Champions League is gone, but Europe is still alive. And I agree. I think Everton should have done a lot better with everything considered. But having no home fans did massively affect them. Absolutely agree with that. And I think overall, I don't think throughout their squad is good enough, and I don't think the back, like the centre backs are actually fairly decent, but I don't really want to pick for at all. I think Gomez is a good player, very technically gifted, but they're very, very slow in the middle of the park. And I think that's what slows it. That's what I think holds them back a little bit, is that lack of pace in the middle of the park when they need it most.
I agree with that. But again, with Ancelotti, his teams are normally quite slow.
Yeah, true.
And he's got results. But again, Ancelotti's never been to a team like Everton. Like, he's always got better players, if that makes sense. So maybe that slow pace doesn't work when you don't have the player that can give you a star moment every single game. Well, they have Rodriguez, but he's on and off for some reason. Like, he's there and not. But it's been an all right season. It's not been a bad season, but it's just the way they started. I think that's what it is. They started really well. So you thought, Everton are here, and then it just kind of fizzled out.
Ahmed?
It was a nothing game for me. I didn't really enjoy it. I thought it was a good header by Richarlison from the corner, but I think Everton's kind of fortunes kind of rolls into Richarlison. Richarlison has failed to deceive. This was the season we thought Richarlison was going to kick on and could bag, 25, maybe even 30 Premier League goals this year, propel Everton into Champions League places, and he hasn't done it. Flattered to deceive. And just like Everton. So I think their two fortunes are linked. I think Everton will be on the up with Richarlison.
Okay. And let's have some predictions for next week, lads, because next week is the last podcast we've got because the season is officially over, unfortunately. So the first game is Villa-Chelsea. Now, I just quickly start off by saying this, that Chelsea and Leicester both have difficult games. Leicester have got Spurs and Villa have got Chelsea. Villa at home, so they'll have their home fans back. So that top four race is going to be so intriguing on Sunday. So the first game, like I said, was Villa-Chelsea. For me, I'm going to say, and I'd love Villa to get a draw here, but I do think Chelsea would just about put it out of the bag. I'm going to say 2-1 to Chelsea. Ahmed?
Completely agree with you. 2-1 Chelsea, I think. I think it'll be tight, but I think they'll nick the win.
Good. Now?
How far is the Champions League final away from this match?
It'll be about a week and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, Chelsea then.
Chelsea. Okay.
Yeah, because
scores?
I think 2-0 Chelsea. I think Chelsea. I like Tuchel in it, and I think he has to win this. And I think you just grind it out.
Okay.
Werner 2 end of the season. How he's going to start the season. I rate Werner. I don't give a damn what anyone says.
I like it.
No, he's just trying. He's just trying.
People are coming at him. You're all heathens. Werner next year top scorer.
No, no one's coming for him. We've not come for him. I just think he's a tryer. He's a tryer, but he's not. It's not happening for him right now at all. He has been very lucky, but all right. Leeds West Brom. I'm going to say 2-0 Leeds. Nana?
Yeah,
same about 2-0 Leeds. Yeah, Leeds. West Brom giving up. Oh, that's gone.
I'm going to go 3-0 Leeds.
Okay. Fulham Newcastle. Ahmed, go and kick us off.
I think it's going to be 1-0. Willing to score them.
2-1 Fulham.
Oh, I'm going to say 3-1 Newcastle.
Okay.
Next one is Arsenal Brighton. Nana.
6-0 Brighton. No, I'm joking. 5-0 Brighton. I'm joking. Oh God! That's happened. Man like Wolves scores a hat trick against Arsenal.
That guy Wolves
takes his shirt off and he's got a fuck Arsenal tattoo on. I can see it happening.
I'm getting one of those.
No, I think 2 Arsenal. Oba 2.
Okay, I'm saying 2-2.
Okay. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. I think we've won 4 games in a row for the first time. I think in a long time. I think we'll make it 5-2-1 Arsenal.
Okay. Next one is Leicester Spurs, so another big one. Now I think everyone plays at the same time, so there's no knowing what the scores are. I'm going to say Leicester take that game. Just about. 1-0 Leicester.
Words out my mouth, mate. 1-0 Leicester for me as well.
I think 3-0 Leicester. I think Leicester are just Ryan Mason's nothing, unfortunately.
Mm.
And I think Leicester are just going to pummel them.
Okay. Man City, Everton's the next one. Obviously, nothing. Everton need to win that game in all honesty, but City fans back, their plastic fans back, they'll win that 2-0.
Damn, you took the words out of my mouth. Sorry. No. I feel like I'm not copying you, by the way. That's genuine.
Deadball guy. Go on. Go on, Nana. What are you saying?
2-0 City. Yes.
So everyone's saying the same. Everyone's saying the same.
Yeah.
Liverpool Palace. Remember, Liverpool at home. Home fans back. I'll let Nana. Go on, Nana. You jump in on that one, mate.
Oh, Liverpool. Done. Dusted. Okay, Chris Palace, give it up. Like, Zaha's in Marbella at the moment with Moyes' daughter again. There is, so.
So
yeah,
what are you saying? Scores?
I think 3-0 Liverpool. Easy win.
Okay, I'm saying 3-1.
Alisson hat-trick.
I'm saying 4-1.
Okay. Sheffield United Burnley, the most dead game of all time. I'm gonna say 0-0.
That is like Nigel Farage's wet dream. What did he say?
I said 0-0, but probably 1-0 Burnley.
0-0 written all over it, but I don't want to seem as if I'm a copycat. I'm gonna go 1-1.
Nana.
Do we really care? No. I think.
Yeah. Our three fans care, mate.
I think it'd be better for the Premiership if the stadium burns and then the match is cancelled. No. I think Burnley 2-1. Like Sheffield United, they've gone.
Okay, Wolves United. Wolves are at home. I still think United take it 2-0.
I think Wolves.
Okay. Go on then, jump in, tell us, Nana.
Wolves and who, sorry?
Wolves,
United.
Man United.
Oh, jeez. It's the Molyneux, right?
It is, yeah. Fans are back.
2-2.
Okay, Nana?
I think Wolves 2-0.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting.
Only because I think that Man U is going to have their mind on the Europa League final.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I think Man United, as soon as they're not focused, they're not very good. Yeah, so
no, it's a valid point for me. It's just that Wolves have just lost their last 6 games or something.
Yeah.
They've just really, I don't know, they've just really dropped off the cliff the last 7 or 8 games. But Hammer Southampton's the last one. I'm going to say 3-2 to West Ham.
Wow, sounds like a great game. I'm going to go 3-1 West Ham.
Okay, and Nana?
1-0 West Ham.
Okay. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Nana. It's lovely to have you back, mate.
I love it. It's actually really have really good fun. Also, for once, Armin wasn't that out there. Like,
yeah, right. He's mellowed as the time's gone on. But no, of course he hasn't, mate. He says some really offensive things every week. On that note, allegedly, sorry. All views on the show or whatever that end of that sentence.
All views
But thank you very much for joining us again. It's been
definitely
wonderful to have you back, Nana. And next week is the last week. We've got another guest on next week, sorry. It is Darren, our Scottish mix. So
Dazza.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant. Dazza.
I'm already looking forward to it. But I just realized I'm not going to be watching. I'm going to be on here. That sounds like a great episode. I'd love to watch that.
Maybe don't get Darren too excited because we might need subtitles.
We'll let him know you said that when he's on. Right, and on that note, we'll leave you and we'll see you on Monday, only a few days away. So thank you very much.
So yes.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.